Hi everyone, Reverend Sarah from St. Paul's United in Paris. I hope you're doing really great today. It is gorgeous outside, so if you haven't had a chance to, please head out there or open a window or sit on a porch or a back stoop or something. It is just lovely out there, and we are going to be into the season of autumn or fall, whichever you refer to it as of Thursday. So enjoy this last days of summer while you can, and please do get out into God's creation today. It really filled my own soul and made me just feel so light and happy when I did that today. Last week I wasn't able to do a check-in because we were super busy around the pastoral charge. We had volunteers and organizers helping us to take tickets and check people into the outdoor farm show up in Woodstock, and it was a huge success after a 2-year break because of the pandemic. People were so happy to be back, and it was lovely to welcome people into that space to make those agricultural connections and to see so many smiles, and just really lovely to take part in. It was a fundraiser for St. Paul's because we were volunteering our time, but we got paid for it. And so the money that was made from the volunteers will go towards the life and work of the community. And so thank you so much to those who volunteered, to those who organized, and to the farm show for inviting us to be part of it all. We also had a congregational meeting this past Sunday. We've been exploring our financial future at St. Paul's, and some ideas have been thrown around about things that would help us as we come out of the pandemic, as we look at our future and some of our financial struggles. And one of the things we were exploring, we are going to move forward with, and that is a shared ministry agreement. For those who weren't in worship, I just want to remind you what that means. We did have handouts that went out to people. So this is not an amalgamation. It is not a church closure. There's not going to be closing of any buildings, but we are going to be entering into a shared ministry with Richwood United Church just outside of Paris. And this is going to mean that myself and Michael Schuberg, who is the minister at Richwood, are going to share the responsibility of Sunday leadership. And that is all it means at this point. So for 3 Sundays every month, I'm going to be leading worship for both Richwood and St. Paul's. On the 4th Sunday, Michael will be leading worship for both Richwood and St. Paul's. On months when there is a 5th Sunday, we have arranged for licensed lay worship leadership as well as student minister leadership to help us with those Sundays. Now, this does not mean that every month I get a week off. This is actually an opportunity that I have not had because of always needing to be working on Sunday worship. And the opportunity that I have is Sunday isn't the thing for everybody. Sunday is not an option for some people because of work, because of sporting activities or dance or other art initiatives that people are taking part in. So what does it look like to hold something alternative to Sunday morning once a month? It doesn't have to be the same thing every month, but an event, an alternative style worship, a meal together. All things are possible, and we are going to be exploring some of those things in the coming months on that 4th week. That is the work that I will be doing on those weeks. And so I've got some ideas in my head already, things I think would be fun for the community to engage in. They're going to be intergenerational, so all ages. And we really want folks to get involved in that. Even if you do come on Sunday mornings, come on out to those as well. And we're going to see what works, what doesn't work, and do some exploring together. So that is what a shared ministry is going to look like. I want to reassure people that this is not a permanent, this is a 1-year trial. And if we don't like it at any time during that 1-year period, either myself or Michael, from feedback from congregations, within 90 days, we can absolve the agreement and return to a different way of doing things, or the way we were doing things before, if we find this doesn't work for us. But we had a really positive meeting, and I have really positive feeling in myself that this is going to be a really wonderful relationship. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or concerns to myself or Wayne Dinsmore as our chair of the board. The last thing I want to leave you with is what we were talking about on Sunday. So we explored our 2nd chapter of Alphabet of Faith and the letter B, and B is for box. And what Sarah Jewell was talking about in this chapter is how we have tended to put God in a box, a singular box of the image of God, who God is, and the gender that God is. So We have tended to, in the Christian church, say that God is only male, God is old and white, and has long hair and a beard and perhaps a white flowy robe and is up in the clouds. And a lot of us haven't really stopped to think about the fact that this actually stemmed from an image painted by Michelangelo back in the 1500s on the roof of the Sistine Chapel. And that is one person's interpretation of what God could look like. And for me and for Sarah Jewell, and I've thought this for many years, it's a little incongruent with the Genesis passage that reminds us that we are all made in the image of God. When I look in the mirror every day, I see somebody white, but I see somebody who identifies as female and cisgendered. I see somebody who identifies as blue-eyed. I clearly have blue eyes, and blonde. I'm not old yet, but I will be one day. I don't have any gray hair, I don't think. If you find any, please do let me know. It's time for a coloring if I do. And so what does it mean to be made in the image of God if we don't all look like that singular image that has kind of become the norm, even in wider society for people who are non-churched to think about? So that's just what I want to leave you with, and maybe push you out of your comfort zone a little bit if you are somebody who only has ever thought of God as male, as white, as old, as that image. And I want to reassure you there's nothing wrong with that, but I would love us to think about beyond that image. What does God look like if we are all made in the image of God? So that's what I'm leaving you with this week. I hope that you feel free to message me if you want to check in about that, and wherever you are, I hope you're safe and well, and that I'll get to see you soon. I'll talk to you later, friends.